I guess I should start by saying that the point of this isn't to give like any kind of medical advice or anything like that. Honestly, I don't know what the point of this is. I just kind of had a hard time finding answers when I was looking online. Yeah, I don't know, maybe this can help with that. Uh, 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks. That's what the specialists keep telling me. 2 to 3 weeks for the antidepressants to take effect. Get those thoughts out of your head. Or, I don't know, it's kind of hard the way I'm thinking right now, feeling right now. Very difficult to imagine those thoughts just kind of like not being there anymore. For about like 2 months now, it's just been kind of bad. Sort of just like difficult to see the point of really anything. But I'm still trying to see the point in things because I can still remember even like even the day before like this whole depression thing started. I still remember like enjoying myself, enjoying life. But it's just one really bad day kind of got like these thoughts in my head, and it kind of just like hasn't left ever since that day. Uh, really bad day. Car breaks down, power goes out, girlfriend breaks up with me, family tells me I should be ashamed of where I am in life, and it kind of sucks hearing that from family. I mean, because I guess I should start with how I got here or to this point, whatever. So, grew up with a older sister, mother and father. Two younger sisters came into the picture. Father became a very bad father and divorce. Mother got custody of all four of us, thankfully. She worked hard to raise 3 daughters and a son. Well, it's kind of hard for me to imagine now. Like she always had like a lighthearted, like really positive personality, kind of like always smiling, trying to do the right thing. And it's difficult for me to imagine now because I'm kind of getting closer to her age, but she always tried to help us try to teach us to see the positive in things. That hard work pays off. That you know, yeah, things are a struggle, and it might be difficult sometimes to see the positive in things, but you do what you can and work hard you be a good person and good things will happen to you. And so she kind of lived by that, taught us that. She worked hard her whole life. And finally, when I turned 17, she had finally saved up enough to afford a home, the down payment for one. She bought the home, and we were all excited, kind of just like, well, like, like the hard work had finally paid off. We were gonna finally live a normal life instead of bouncing from house to house, being kicked out by relatives. But just before she got to actually enjoy all of her hard work, she got she was diagnosed with cancer and passed away a year later. So it's just me and my older sister taking care of our younger sisters. I tried to do the school thing, but it was hard to juggle college, work, and raising like two younger sisters. Daycare is way too expensive. Like I had no idea how expensive daycare was. Like, and it was just for the mornings too, because our like, so it was my youngest sister. She was, I don't know, I don't really want to get too much into details with that, but basically I dropped out to get more work so I could help take care of my younger sisters. Couldn't afford the house. We had to find a small place to rent, and time passed. And people got older. Thankfully, my one of my younger sisters, we were able to kind of like give her a semi decent life. She recently graduated from high school. She's going to UC Santa Cruz. Super proud, super scared of the tuition, but it was cool. It was cool seeing that like our hard work had paid off. That like we were able to give at least one of us a normal life. And when these things happen, it kind of, I don't know, like, you're not really able to do the same things that your friends are able to do. Like they're raised in a full household, have parents, they don't have to worry about like rent, all that kind of stuff. It's good for them. It's not like, my mentality is like, oh, I wish they were like down at my level or anything like that. Everyone just kind of does their own thing, just tries to be their best person. If they're born into good situations, good for them. If they're born into sad or bad situations, I hope for the best for them. But you hear things when you're not able to live like your friends, like your family, when you're not able to get the same education or opportunities that they received. They kind of like give some remarks, sort of compare your life to things you see on social media, which never really bothered me because I don't have social media. I never had time for it. It was just always work. And when I wasn't at work, that's when I wanted to spend time with family because, when you grow up with just your family, like not being, when you're not able to count on like all your relatives, you kind of cherish the families that you are able to count on. So that's who I would choose to spend my time with. And it didn't bother me for the longest time because I knew that everyone went at their own pace. Everyone just tries to do their best. Uh, and I was doing my best. I wasn't just working like those dead end jobs. I was kind of working on things on the side that I knew may not pan out, but could pan out if I kept working hard. And so I couldn't let like all the noise just kind of, push me not to follow those dreams that my mother had always tried to kind of like instill into us, this like sense of like following your passion along with being a good person. But I don't know, just a really bad day happened like 2 months ago, and I just a thought came into my head, and it just never got out. And I don't really want to go too much into detail right now because I'm still a little scared about talking about those thoughts because I had never thought those thoughts, and it was only when it came up that it didn't get out, and that's like the last thing I want for anyone, you know. So I can't really talk to my sisters about this. Can't talk to my friends about this because it's just so scary to think that like, oh, maybe once I talk to them about it, they'll start thinking like, oh wait, are things like that? And it's just like, no, definitely not. But psychiatrists aren't really helping. Therapists aren't helping. And it's just been like 2 months of anxiety because of those thoughts not leaving your head, where it's just from the second I wake up to the moment I struggle to barely fall asleep. It's just like right there, pounding over and over, and it doesn't stop. Like it's burning anxiety, like sensation I've never felt before. It's so painful. I guess I would say it's just like very annoying, and it makes it difficult to fall asleep because it doesn't stop. So like when you lay down and those thoughts are just kind of like eating up at you, and that pace never goes away, that anxiety never goes away, you can't really fall asleep. And so for 2 months I've only been able to get like 1 hour of sleep or no hours of sleep, and the lack of sleep just kind of keeps everything cycling, just like getting worse and worse. You start hearing voices, you start like, you can't really see the point of things anymore. Those struggles that my mother always tried to say, were just obstacles. It's difficult to see any point in going through those struggles. It's like, why anything? Why get up? Why eat? Why breathe? Why do anything? And it's just, I have been doing my best to like keep pushing forward, but I'm kind of just like on autopilot right now, just kind of like forcing myself to do these things that I feel I would have done before those 2 months, things I feel I should do. But it's getting really hard, especially with the lack of sleep. I'm so exhausted. My head feels fried all the time, like I'm walking through fog or like a glass bubble, and things just keep tapping and tapping at it. It's just hard. And I got to the point where I was just like, this isn't something that therapy will help with. All they do is like tell you to see the positive in things, but you can't really, like those thoughts never go, they don't go away or haven't gone away from me. I still want to believe that they do. And so I started seeing a psychiatrist, and they prescribed me antidepressants. They'd asked if I wanted it for a couple of sessions now, and I've always been, or I had been afraid of it, just because, like this, you, there's like this stigma around it, I guess, where only, at least for me, a lot of things I heard was like people who take antidepressants, they're like not right in the head, they're crazy or whatever. like they're just whiners, all this kind of stuff. Because like with depression, it's just people think it's something as easy as like, oh, just get over it, or just stop thinking that way, or just you know look on the bright side. But it's not as simple as I thought, because I was also one of those people, where I thought like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, what do they people have to be sad about? Just look on positive things, just do your best. But it's I don't know, when you're in this mental state, it's kind of like you're holding yourself hostage. I guess I would say is the best way to describe it, where I can't stop thinking this way, even though I want to stop, even though I know there are no voices actually telling me these things, even though I know nothing around me has changed. It's all just in my head. I'm the one telling myself all this stuff, all these negative emotions are just coming from me, pushing it into myself. But it's still just kind of hard. Uh, so finally, I decided to start taking the antidepressants, and I guess that's why I decided to make this video, make these future videos, is because one thing that they kept telling me is 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks is how long it takes for these pills to take effect. And I try to search online just to see how other people's experiences with it went, and it was kind of hard to gauge how everyone's journey went, to see if these things actually work. Uh, I get Sertraline, Sertraline, HCl, 50 milligram tablets. Uh, so I'm supposed to take them once a day. I'll start taking them tomorrow morning. And I guess I just wanted to sort of document this, to see how I feel throughout it, to see when exactly these thoughts go away, because it's really hard for me to imagine medication stopping these thoughts. Like, what's it gonna do, right? Like, it's not gonna rip those thoughts out of my head, it's not gonna prevent it from going in there. So it's really hard to imagine this working, but I really want it to work, because I still feel, or I feel like I should feel, that even though I don't have like the richest life or the most successful life, there are still things to live for. And I definitely don't want to leave my family. I still have those goals that my mother told me to work towards, even if these thoughts are kind of making it seem like a stupid waste of 10 years of my life. I don't want to just drop it. So I'm going to start taking these antidepressants tomorrow. I plan on recording at the end of every day just to see how I'm feeling, see if I notice any difference, what happened that day, to hopefully help other people who are worried about this, or who feel like maybe this thing isn't going to help. Again, this is not medical advice or anything like that. I'm no one to give medical advice. I'm just someone who's kind of maybe in the same boat as you, who's also scared of starting this. It's also kind of just had it really rough for a while now. but wants to keep pushing forward. So, yeah, I'm gonna see how this goes, see exactly when things start becoming positive again, how this stops those thoughts from getting into my head, if it does, and hopefully someone's able to get some kind of help from all of this. All right, let's see how this goes.